All right, guys. Hey, how's it going? John Del, the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction, author of For Steam and Country, and Gravity of the Game, my most recent novella. I am on... Oh, this guy's still going off passive-aggressive on me. This is amazing. Okay. So if you guys didn't see it yet, there's a guy on Twitter attacking me. And I have a history with him. He's his name's Paul Weimer, I think it is. I'm gonna give you his nice profile picture here. All right, there's the guy after me this morning, Paul Weimer, photographer. He's a reviewer, of course, writer, podcaster. Of course, he's in the SFF audio here. BarnesandNoble.com and Tor.com. He doesn't do anything but review books. He doesn't write books. He's just, and of course, you know, he puts his in case you weren't sure, which I mean, you can't tell these days, to be honest. But this is him. The guy's just a reviewer. That's all he is at the end of the day. All right. So, my history with this guy goes back to, gosh, how far back does this go? It goes back to April. So I was attacked pretty heavily in March, April, when I was blackballed from speaking from a local convention here. This website called File 770 went off on me. Justin's one of their sorry, his name's not Justin, Paul. He's Prince Justin is his Twitter handler. That's why it confuses me. Paul was one of their commenters. He would just throw shade out there. He's a reviewer. He's supposed to review books and just talk about books, right? And the guy's just like one of those like Trump. So he's useless, right? So that's what he does. He just does that, and he just hates on people. So I was in an argument with somebody online. It looks like I was in an argument with her name's Natalie Lurs, and she is on something called the Bias blog. Yeah, right. And, her profile says feminist, writer, geek. So, you know what that means at that point, right? So, I made some offhand comment after she was being rude. And I was like, hey, you contributed to a Hugo-nominated blog. So did I. So we're basically family. Because I try to be nice back at first. I don't just try to just go for the big hits because, I mean, it is what it is. But they actually get more angry when you're nice back than when you hit them. They go absolutely nutty if you're nice back. So I was like, hey, we're basically family because we're both contributing to Hugo-nominated blogs. Wow, it's like a little club. And then she starts swearing about me and called me a dipshit, called me this. She just keeps... And then Paul chimes in. I've never interacted with Paul. I didn't know who he was. He's just some reviewer, right? Like he matters to me. And hey, welcome. He just keeps going after me. And then he starts. Then what happened was, this is back in April. Started passive aggressively talking about me on Twitter. And this is how they work, the Gamma guys, right? So after he started doing that, of course, I started tagging him with my books. And because this is what I do. So if somebody starts attacking me, saying things, I use it for marketing. It's annoying to get attacked. It is so annoying to get attacked. I would rather this Barnes and Noble, Tor.com reviewer guy not be talking smack about me on the internet. I would absolutely rather that. But once he does that, that's how I'm going to respond, is I'm going to use it for marketing. So I did that, and I just kept at it for a while. And then what happened was, I'd say I was just being friendly the entire time, just like, oh yeah, hey dude, and then tagging him on my books like I usually do after he's mean. And eventually the guy broke down. Like, it bothered him so much that I was tagging him and using him for marketing after this guy attacked me out of nowhere. That he broke down, all caps, was like, I apologize, I will never say anything bad about you again. I mean, he went way hard, way hard into this. I'm trying to find those tweets because they were hilarious. But he got really, really mad. And gosh, I'm still trying to find these tweets. They were very funny. But he did this like profuse apology, like saying, really, I broke him with my marketing, and I didn't even have to personally attack the guy. I wasn't even that mean to him, but he did that, and then he went away for a while. So that happened for a while. He went away, and then this morning, I went on to our beautiful File 770 site, and File 770 was mocking me. File 770 was mocking me because I put up a Patreon last week, and of course they won't miss a good opportunity to mock me, right? So Patreon's doing well, making $35 already per month. Got a short story up. Check that out. I'm really trying to just get to a threshold to where I can just fund comic art out of it and just produce comics, because I've talked about this before. The collaboration contributions only work out so much. I'm sorry about the phone ringing. It is what it is. The collaboration contributions only work out so much, and I'm just like, there's nothing I can do there. So I need to do that, and it is what it is. So the guy mocked me and posted on File 770. I'm trying to find it. I should have brought all this stuff up before I started broadcasting, right? Because I'll just do it. I'll just go to my website, because that would have made for better broadcast if I was just prepared rather than just stepping in here. That's something to learn. Oh man, don't call me again. If I didn't answer, I didn't answer because I didn't answer. All right, people. Doesn't she know I'm on a broadcast? All right, so I'm pulling up my website. So the guy attacked me this morning again after months. Like, he just can't help it, right? Just can't help it. So I'm pulling up the File 770 site to bring this now. So he thought he was being so clever, but here's the deal, and this is the title of the Periscope, right? All right, and she just called me here. All right, my haters got nothing. My haters would love more than anything if I was a bad writer or not a good writer. Like, the first thing they'd do is they'd come on and they'd be like, John sucks, here's his terrible writing, blah 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 blah. Notice nobody ever does that, and most of these people have at least read a little bit of my work, right? So if you look a couple weeks ago, I had a story, that short story that came out, and one of the File 770 guys immediately was like, well, I don't want to be praising John, but it was actually a good story. And so they're actually seeing that I write very competently, which everybody knows. I mean, there's a reason Vox is hiring me to co-write the novel with him, because he's seen my competent writing, he likes it, and he knows that I'm of that quality. And I mean, the people who are nonpartisan, say that if my quality is Castalia House level, then my quality is basically Bane level, and at that point you can't talk much smack, because I'm part of the top of the industry here. All right, so nobody does. If you notice, like, Scalzi has never criticized my writing. Scalzi's only just attacked me, like passive aggressive, personally, even though I didn't know him. Chuck Wendig never attacked my writing, just called me a septic diaper. I've never interacted with the guy who called me a septic diaper, right? Cat Rambo has for sure, by the way, SIFWA president Cat Rambo has both of my books. I know she's read them. She's never said a harmful word about them, never said a bad thing about them. So there you go. And the people in SIFWA, I got contacted. I mentioned this on a Periscope a while back. I got contacted by one of the SIFWA officers to confirm gravity of the game's word count, because people in SIFWA, my enemy organization, who hates me more than anything. They're not really my enemy, because I don't care, but they hate me more than anything. Somebody is nominating my book, my novella, for their Nebula Award. So that's amazing. So they've got nothing on the writing front, right? I'm a competent writer at the very least. I know this. It's I'm not going to call myself a Heinlein or whatever, because I don't view myself like that. But I do know I'm competent. All right. I think nobody can disagree with that, including Paul here. So Paul, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Writers aren't going to throw shade at another's writing. It's true in some regards. I mean, I try to honestly review things, but Paul here is a reviewer. that's his job, is he reviews books. And the fact that he's never thrown shade at my writing and just throws shade at me, it says a lot there too. So File 770 mocked my Patreon that I was doing it, of course. I'm just like, so which again is going swimmingly, so I'm happy. And so Paul comments on it, and he goes, "The way things are going, Mr. Delarose will be the greatest Hispanic writer on Patreon anyway." All right. So this guy is so passive aggressive, right? That he can't even directly say something at this point, because he's got nothing. He's got nothing. And yes, I am up there in terms of in terms of Hispanic writers. Everybody knows at this point I am actually up there, and it's a little hard to contest. And so this guy was trying to use that to try to mock me, right? And that's all he said. That's all he said was these words. So I just took the greatest Hispanic writer on Patreon, and I made it a blurb for me, because that is what he said. And I put it up this morning. Oh man! And here we go, the greatest Hispanic writer on Patreon. First news story up already. You want to check out my first story. My first story on this is really good. So get on here if you're not. All right. So naturally, people love it. People think it's hilarious. Now Paul comes on. My boy Paul. Let's see. Let's pull this up. Doop-a-doo. Paul comes back because he can't just leave it at this. So I quoted his direct words. This is what he said. He wanted to attack me, but he literally could not even attack me properly, because he's so passive aggressive and he so has nothing bad about my writing that there's nothing he can say, right? And so he used this passive aggressive tactic to try to do something, and it's foolish of him to do so. So I used it for marketing. I'd rather him not be talking about me. And come on, this is that sort of catty, sarcastic, I'm going to mock somebody while I think they can't see me. Come on, this is high school girl stuff, right? And this guy's, how old is this guy? He's like a 50-year-old man. Come on, 50-something-year-old man is high school girl talking me, right? So he comes on after so his response to my response to that is, "John, I am disappointed in you for quoting me out of context to make it seem like I support your work. I do not," all caps. "I'm going to make an assumption that you are bright enough to know the import of what I said." Import of what I said. He said, "I'm the greatest Hispanic writer on Patreon." The import of what I said. Yeah, that's pretty important. "This tweet of yours suggests the opposite of what I said." Okay. No. Please retract. Okay. All right. So this is funny. So this guy thinks he's really important, and he thinks his word's really important. And that's really the funniest part of this whole thing. So the guy came after me this morning, and at this point I'm fed up with it. I don't typically delve into the personal attack, but this guy's been going at me since April, like I said. And so I finally told him to just stop talking shit about me like a little bitch, and I'm not proud of having to resort to that, but it worked. He finally blocked me, so I'm not gonna have to deal with him doing that at least much on my feed here, which is good. So, but he acts like I did something wrong or I wronged him when he came out and attacked me in the first place. This is what they do every single time. Every single time. Scalzi did his weird freaking rant about me on Twitter, and then I message him and I'm like, "What the heck, dude?" And he just flips out like I did something to him. Cat Rambo attacked me on File 770, never apologized for it, and then act like I did something to her, right? He did this here. He attacked me on File 770. Instead of apologizing, he just acted like I did something to him. And this is how they start every single time. And it's, I'm going to use it every single time because it's funny. So I used it. It's funny. But here's the deal. This guy thinks he's all the important because he contributes to Tor.com and Barnes and Noble, and maybe they pay him to write. I don't know. Most of these sort of things are volunteer writing efforts, as it is, right? And so he's got 4,000 followers, so about double what I've got. So his reach as a long-time review. I mean, this guy's been long time within the establishment doing his thing. His reach is only about double of what mine is, right? And that I think that tells you something right there. But next, so he keeps he's keeping at that feeling when you were completely and utterly quoted out of context by an asshat. I rarely use the block button, but I try to be nice and reasonable. Now that's what he says right here. Now, is it nice and reasonable to be on somebody's blog mocking somebody? No, it's not. We all know that. Enough is enough. That's very funny. I've finally had enough of him, especially when he quotes me out of context. See, he tries to make, and then people are saying sorry. He's pretending to be nice. He's not nice. He's the opposite of nice. All right. But here's the deal. These reviewers mean nothing. His quote means nothing. If I put it on the cover of my book, there's not a single person out there who would buy it because Paul Weimer says I'm the greatest Hispanic writer. Nobody would buy my book just because of that. Nobody gives a crap what Paul Weimer says, if I'm pronouncing his name right. So that's the truth. And even if he was somebody like of import, like he's just a reviewer. He's not like somebody like credible in the field or something like that. Very few people outside of other authors know who he is. And I don't really care what other authors think. Other authors are not going to be the people who are buying and supporting my books, or more importantly in this instance, buying or supporting my Patreon long term. So I'm cultivating readers, and he's like talking to the like elitist author crowd as if it matters to me. I don't really give any crap about being respectable to them. It doesn't do anything at all. I mean, so I've got some hard examples of this too. So I've got some pretty big authors who have given me blurbs in the past, right? And this is before I was a wrong thinker and all that, right? So Elizabeth Moon is one of my favorite writers of all time. She's won the Nebula Award, been nominated for Hugos. She's got great military science fiction. I love her to death. I'm pretty sure nowadays she would not even interact with me, but whatever. I love her books, so I don't care. So she's never said anything bad about me. But she gave me a blurb on my first book, right? And before I actually was kind of on people's radars as readers, my first book sold about 300 copies, and most of those copies were to Star Realms fans. I got one comment saying I bought the book because Elizabeth Moon gave me a blurb. One comment. So I would assume at that point I'd sold 300 copies. So let's say 3 or 4 people bought my book. All right, 3 or 4 people does not move the needle, right? And that's Elizabeth Moon. Elizabeth Moon's like a legit author in the same field, and that her word actually carries weight. It's not Paul Weimer, random book reviewer, who nobody cares about. So his blurb will get me no extra subscribers on my own. Now, as a funny comment, because my readers know I'm mocking him, and they understand that I'm being funny, that might get me 1 or 2 people clicking and looking at it, right? But that's my doing; it's not his doing, right? So these words don't carry much weight as it is. The haters actually don't help people that much, and I've been trying to tell people this for a long time. But Scalzi attacking me on Twitter and not using my name, and my just saying Scalzi attacked me on Twitter and didn't use my name. Here's my link. That actually sold me more books than Elizabeth Moon's actual positive remark about my work did. Right? This is the truth. It probably sold me in the range of 10 to 20 books doing that, which is kind of crazy. So it goes to show that these guys, their influence is not all that much. I have a great friend who this is one of my friends wrote one of the I'd call it one of the best hard science fiction books in the last decade, like period. It's like Spider Robinson level good hard science fiction. It was called the book's called Channel Zilch by Doug Sharp. Doug Sharp's the guy's name, and look that up. It's just a phenomenal book. But he went on Scalzi's blog. So the guy's got an actual condition. It's called central pain syndrome. It's a really serious condition, and basically his body tells him that he's got pain all the time. So no matter what he does, it sends pain signals, and it can like send him into seizures. It shuts him down. Really rough. It's amazing that this guy could even finish a book, let alone write something so brilliant. I mean, it's on the level of just pure genius brilliance. And it takes him a long time. I think he took 10, 15, 20 years to write the book because of his condition. Well, Scalzi thought this was a great human interest story and put it on his blog. His book did not sell, and it's a shame. I find this a shame that his book didn't sell. It didn't sell. Scalzi's blog gave it a little bump, like 5 books, I was told, and nothing. So even John Scalzi's recommendation only sells you like 5, 10 books, right? So if John Scalzi's recommendation doesn't, if Elizabeth Moon doesn't, Paul Weimer saying I'm the greatest Hispanic writer, which he did. It doesn't matter what the context is. He said it. Doesn't actually sell me a book, right? And this Periscope might sell me a book, but that doesn't. So their self-importance is so ridiculous. There is no importance to these people. That's what you got to remember. These people don't matter. You don't need to impress them. You don't need them to like you. They don't actually interact with readers whatsoever. They only interact with other authors who are not going to support you also. And that's the big lesson to learn from all this. So yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean, I mean, Paul is so ridiculous. He really is. Like, why did he go on this blog and just talk smack about me? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, eclipses are your friend. It doesn't make any sense, and it sucks. And I don't like getting this sort of treatment from people. And if Paul actually read my book, he would understand that I'm a competent writer, just like anybody else he promotes. I mean, his last comment about me before this was actually talking about my Happy Frogs award recommendation slate and saying that I actually had pretty good choices. So the guy understands that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to science fiction and fantasy, and that and that's why he wrote it this way. He wrote it this way because he can't say I don't know what I'm talking about. He can't say I'm not relevant. He can't say I'm a bad writer. And so this is the only way the haters are trying to get at me at this point. It's really sad if you look at it. Anyway, this was fun. Hopefully you got some good sort of thought process out of it for yourself. And like I said, just don't worry about it. Blurbs aren't going to do you that much. Even if I give you a blurb, it's not going to do that much. I'll try. I will try my hardest to help you guys out. But just to be honest, I mean, people don't read books based off blurbs alone. The blurbs help in an overall marketing scheme a little bit. I'm definitely going to use this forever because this guy called me the greatest Hispanic writer. I mean, of course I'll use that. Other than the irony points for it, my using it is not going to trick anybody to thinking that he thinks I'm some Hightline or whatever. Let's be honest. So what else? What else do we got today? Going to be wrapping up The Stars Entwined. I just got edits back. I'm cleaning it up. I mean, I'm working so hard on this book. It should be the cleanest book I have yet. You'll love it. It'll be a couple months though. But my Patreon supporters, if you are at a certain level, get early copies of it. So honestly, I need you guys on there. Go on there. If anything, just to piss off Paul. Piss off Paul. Just contribute $1, just $1, right? Nothing. And then go, oh, wow, Paul Weimer says that he's the greatest Hispanic writer on Patreon, so I figured I'd help out. That would that would make things so great. All right. Have a good day, guys. Love you very much. Appreciate you tuning in.